Oh, real nice, Rick. Turning our son into an Akira? Real nice.
Eat my ass, Jerry. He turned himself into Akira.
Kaneda!
We've been waiting 740 days for the new season of Rick and Morty, and I have never got to see a season premiere of Rick and Morty live on Adult Swim before, so I'm really glad I got to sit down and watch it air on live TV. Even the commercials were amazing, from the Death Stranding Rick and Morty themed Let's Eat This Baby commercial to the classic Adult Swim bumps. Everything about this premiere, Crystal, which was the in-house working title of the episode, had so much hype built up, and I really am taken aback with how episode 1 lived up to our expectations in ways that I just never even imagined. I honestly felt like we time traveled back to season 1 with the flow of this episode and these adventures. Season 3 was very driven by storyline with the whole divorce, and I felt the first episode of season 4 was this culmination of every weird thing that we've loved about Rick and Morty season 1 and what made the show so endearingly fun and just insane in the first place. We're also seeing differences from last season, with Dan Harmon stating that the power dynamic has now shifted, with the family coming first and Rick now kind of being slightly constrained. Now, obviously, the main thing we're talking about here is Akira. If you've been following me on Instagram at soul_animation, then maybe last week you saw me unbox the entire manga 35th anniversary box set of Akira. And you may also know that I rewatched the film recently. I've just been on this huge Akira binge lately, to say the least. So the fact that this episode is parodying Akira in 2019 is a dream come true for me. Exceeds my wildest dreams for what I wanted this premiere to be. Everything Akira needs to happen before this year ends and before the 2020 Olympics. And the fact that Rick and Morty took that initiative just makes me so happy. I mean, I think I've watched every episode of Rick and Morty season 1 through 3 times just this year alone, and I've been hyped as hell for season 4. So in the season 4 premiere, Crystal, Morty has an obsession with these magical death predicting crystals. Rick is stealing them from some aliens, of course, and after Morty grabs one, it leads him to follow the ultimate path that will result in him dying in Jessica's arms. And in all of the crystal chaos, Morty uncovers Rick's arsenal of mystical weaponry in the garage, and that precedes the Akira scene. My absolute favorite part of the entire thing is the Akira-inspired soundtrack, which is honestly when I first noticed the episode was even a parody of Akira in the first place, because I wasn't paying that close of attention the first time I watched the episode. But hearing essentially the Akira soundtrack, it clicked in my head what was happening, and I just went, holy shit, this is not real. Like, this is not happening right now. The sound composer for Rick and Morty, Ryan Elder, said that he listened to the entire Akira soundtrack for this episode, watched the movie for this episode. Prompted by the Akira soundtrack, Elder worked in that minimalistic, like African percussion used in the original Akira film, and it escalates into the grand Rick and Morty orchestral composition that we're used to, which if you go back and watch the episode, you will 100% hear that transition and know exactly what I'm talking about when Morty is battling the military and sending out the Meeseeks. If you just type in Kaneda's theme into YouTube, you can compare the original sound to what was used in this premiere Rick and Morty episode, and it's very, very similar. Essentially, Morty steals this tech from Rick to keep on his reckless path to dying in Jessica's arms when he's an old man, and Morty ends up in this Akira scenario where the tanks and military surround him, and Morty ascends into the sky, blowing them all away. Very reminiscent of Tetsuo and the scenes from Akira. He then transforms into this disgusting, unstructured blob that's swallowing his entire being, as Tetsuo does in the Akira film's climax, metaphorically being consumed by his own desire. This was all so well animated. Like, clearly it had a ton of money poured into it. The Rick and Morty art director, James McDermott, and the team couldn't even handle that much animation in-house, so they actually poured in enough cash to outsource that animation you see of like the revolving Morty tower to an outside studio called Yada. I guess they were probably willing to go that far because it's the premiere episode. I doubt they'll be spending that much money come later episodes, but if anything, I'm just glad they spent the money on an Akira parody of all things. I feel like if you're mimicking the most technical animated feature of all time that was animated on ones, meaning every frame of Akira was animated, only one of the only animated films in history to ever do that, then you should at least come up with some unique and fluid animation for the scene that you're parodying. But it doesn't end there. Jerry scolds Rick for turning Morty into an Akira, and he says it with this Japanese accent and then follows it with, "I don't want to see any more anime stuff happening to my son," also pronouncing anime with a super Japanese accent. Hats off to Chris Parnell, Jerry's voice actor. That was absolutely hilarious. And usually Chris Parnell just annoys the hell out of me in real life. Like, I have a feeling the entire Akira idea was Justin Roiland. Maybe we'll get a little commentary on the episode from Justin in due time, but I'm just going to assume that Justin loves Akira, and that just warms my heart. Even Rick's story in this episode was based on the manga All You Need Is Kill that I've heard about but I haven't read yet, and I know the premise is like the character dies over and over again until time can move forward or something of that nature, basically what Rick went through in this episode. And I love how this entire episode was just influenced by anime. As far as the rest of the episode, the little details like constantly grab your attention while all of that is happening. Justin Roiland promoting his video game Trover Saves the Universe like on a poster in the background, which I still have yet to play. I have the game unopened lying on my desk. I really want to play it. Then there's the 40 or so ways the crystal predicts Rick and Morty dying. I need to go back and watch that through thoroughly to see exactly what happens there. I know in one photo, Squanchy kills Rick, and the writers actually came up with infinitely more ways Rick and Morty die in this episode with the crystals, but kept it to about 40 in the final sequence so they didn't go overboard for us. One of the funniest moments was Gearhead getting accidentally shot in the head, causing everyone in that spaceship to die instantly, including the Meeseeks. And I also loved how the bully was drifting off, saying the air's getting thinner as Morty was murdering him. And it's nice to see that the fan service was just not overdone. Like, all of us want to see more Meeseeks, right? But the fact that he appears for like 3 seconds and then just gets killed kept that character in check and kept the fan service in check for us. And the same thing with the Meeseeks that are used in the rest of the episodes, like the Kirkland ones. All around, seriously, hats off to Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland. Beautifully done start to season 4. Please, more throwbacks to classic anime. I honestly would love to see that. But just the fact that we got Akira in 2019, it's so perfect if you love Akira and if you love anime. Hopefully I'll be doing some more Rick and Morty vids this season, so subscribe if you want to see those. I'm literally gonna go watch the new episode again like right now. Drop a like if you love this Akira parody, and I will see you guys next time.
I don't want to see any more anime stuff happening to my son, Buster.